to make a couple of comments about Senator Evan Bayh of Indiana announcing this week that he would not run for re-election for his Senate seat. This was a complete shock to everyone. It is a very surprising development, and everybody is already sending the piranhas down to find out, what the carcass looks like and what it tastes like. What has happened here is that essentially Bayh is a Democratic Party member, but he's a centrist, and he has apparently been very annoyed both at the Republicans basically sandbagging and blocking action and decisions in the Senate since President Obama got elected. And he also was apparently almost equally annoyed about the decision by the Democrats to veer to the left. I don't think he likes Harry Reid, the Senate Majority Leader, very much, or Nancy Pelosi over on the other side in the House. And his resignation is a chilling reminder that there are now 8 Democratic seats in the Senate that are listed as vulnerable. They are Arkansas, Nevada, North Dakota, and Delaware, which are leaning Republican, and then there are a couple of others, Illinois, Indiana, Colorado, and Pennsylvania, that are considered to be toss-ups and therefore could go either way. There's a lot of consternation among the Democrats that somebody like Bayh would basically resign or decide not to run for re-election, not tell anyone in the party, thereby disrespecting the party leadership and the party as a whole in a very significant way. And of course, partisanship is a tough thing. The Republicans seem to be thriving on it and finding it very invigorating. They're all excited about how they have managed to block the Democrats and are now smelling blood and thinking that they're going to have a major victory or major victories in the fall of 2010 after those elections. And the others, like Senator Evan Bayh, are basically saying that partisanship on Capitol Hill is so out of control that he doesn't really want to continue to serve and wants to go on and do something else. And he's, of course, already hinted that he would love to be a university president or something like that. The Senate rule that 60 votes or 3/5 of the members of the Senate are necessary to pass legislation in the Senate is a ridiculous development. There is actually a long-standing tradition that it's only used very, very rarely by the opposition party, the minority party, but now the Republicans have discovered that they can use the threat of a filibuster for any legislation that is coming up. And the Democrats have said, well, unless we have 60 votes and can break a filibuster, we might as well not even try because the Republicans will filibuster. They can't change the rules because a Democratic effort to change the rules in the Senate would take actually 2/3 of the Senate, which is 67 votes. So my conclusion is that the United States is actually politically now paralyzed, that this puts the country in great peril. And those of you who think this is fun and funny and wonderful, you ought to look in the mirror and ask yourself, when the Republicans do win, are they going to get 60 votes in the Senate? Or are the Democrats going to then do a threat of filibuster on them, and therefore nothing will get done in Congress at all, which is a real disaster for a country in the middle of lots of crises, moving into the 21st century with lots of problems. And I am certainly not encouraged by what I am seeing out there. I hope all of you will go out and study this. Maybe I'm just gloom and doom, but I am seeing some very, very dark handwriting on the wall with all of this. not just Senator Bayh's resignation, but the attacks against even somebody like a conservative such as Senator McCain of Arizona, who has got two contenders wanting to unseat him in the primaries, who say that he is basically too moderate and that he has cooperated with the Democrats in bipartisan efforts, which has now become apparently a mark of disloyalty among people in the, at least in the Republican Party. If we're going that direction, I think we are going to pay a very heavy price as a country, because the country is divided. There is not a majority of conservatives and Republicans, and there is not a majority of liberal Democrats either. The only way that anything can get done in this country at this moment is if you put together coalitions of Democrats and Republicans and try to pass legislation. If we can't do that anymore, and if we can't reform the Congress so that it can function properly, then you'd better start looking at a bleak future down the road, because we are going to be in a permanent gridlock. And that's going to be very bad for us in foreign policy as well as in domestic economic policy. I'm glad I was able to bring you this upbeat message. Steffen Schmidt for InsiderIowa.com.